Hey everyone, welcome back to the 5 Awesome Geeks. This week we are talking about our favorite anime series. I'm going to do my top 5 simply because I've never laid out my list for anyone and this is just making me excited. But just because I would like to do full top 10 on my own channel at some point. But let's get started. Number 5 on my list is Noragami. Noragami. Oh my god. I remember this series was on Netflix before it was dubbed, and I watched I think 1 or 2 episodes and I really loved it. And then when it was dubbed into English, I watched it and I fell in love with it. I had never really loved an anime like Noragami before. I love the fact that it's set in modern day Japan, but there are clearly urban fantastical vibes going on. I love the ties of actual Japanese deities. Just, it's so awesome. It is just so much fun, very funny at points, but it also is just full of heart. This season and the second season, Noragami Arigato, just together have so much heart, and the second season is just a huge emotional roller coaster. I love Noragami so much, and I really hope we get a season 3, because the last frame of season 2 leaves so many questions, so I hope we get a season 3. Number 4 on my list is something I don't own yet because it has not been released on Blu-ray and DVD, and that is Orange. Okay, Orange, oh man. Alright, so I read the manga first, and then I watched the anime. I watched the first episode when it went up on Crunchyroll in Japanese, and then after Crunchyroll and Funimation announced their partnership together, Funimation got Orange, and they dubbed it, and I was so excited because Orange is honestly one of the most beautiful stories I've ever heard, I've ever seen, I've ever read, period. And I love stories. And when I watched the dub of Orange, I was just blown away. Funimation just keeps surprising me, if that's even possible. And their work on Orange was phenomenal. The cast was absolutely fantastic. I knew it was against my better judgment to do this, but I marathoned episodes, I think, 7 through 12 of Orange. And I was sobbing multiple times. That has never really happened in anime apart from the first episode of Seraph of the End. But if you watched the first episode of Seraph of the End and didn't sob at the end of it, watch it again. And I sobbed throughout Orange. I didn't just cry once, I cried multiple times, and that's never heard of for me in anime, because I just don't cry when watching anime all that much. And I think that's why I love Orange, because it made me cry. It affected me so much that I actually cried. I love this show so much. And number 3 on my list is another anime I don't have because they haven't released it on Blu-ray and DVD yet either. That is Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice. I know, I do that whenever I talk about an anime on this list, but I really don't care. Yuri on Ice, oh man. It's not even so much for the sport aspect of the show, but the figure skating is beautifully animated, and I love how actual figure skaters are loving Yuri on Ice because of how accurate it is and how it shows figure skating. I love that they loved the anime because of that. Yuri on Ice, the reason why I love it so much is because there's LGBTQ acceptance, there's gender identity, there's anxiety, there is so much that Yuri on Ice offers, and it's done so well. It's such a beautiful show. I love it so much. I could talk forever about Yuri on Ice, and I probably will in a video on my own channel. And what I love about Yuri on Ice is that it doesn't just revolve around the sport that it is at its core about. it has a whole bunch of other things going for it. It has a strong plot, it has strong characters, it has strong themes, and they're all rendered beautifully. And number 2 on my list is a very recent acquisition, and that is Snow White with the red hair. Okay, as for how recent this acquisition to my list is, I watched season 1 of Snow White with the red hair 3 weeks ago, and I watched season 2 of Snow White with the red hair about 2 weeks ago. This show is just so freaking wonderful. It's beautifully animated. Bones does the animation, so at this point, what can you expect from Bones? But it's just such a wonderful story, and it has such a strong female protagonist who is very resourceful. She does not wait. She does not wait for a man, or for Prince Zen in this case, who is played wonderfully by Josh Greeley, to run in and rescue her. She uses her education and her intelligence as an herbalist to get herself out of a lot of her problems, and I love that about this show. I love the animation. Again, it's Bones, so what do you expect? I love the plot, I love the characters, I love Zen and Shiryuki's relationship. It is honestly one of the most romantic, lushly romantic relationships I've seen in anime, and the music is absolutely fantastic as well. It's very, very lush, very, very orchestral, but it fits the show so well. It just adds to the it just adds to the overall show, as a good score should. It's Snow White with the Red Hair is just such a good shoujo series. It's such a good shoujo series, guys. And number 1 on my list should be of absolutely no surprise to anybody who has watched me on YouTube for any length of time. And that show is Ouran High School Host Club. Now, Ouran High School Host Club holds this spot. It has held this spot for a long time because it's the first anime that I fell in love with. My first anime ever was Higurashi, which is just a hell of an introduction to anime. And then, I think, shortly after that, my friend Leanne convinced me to watch Ouran. And I watched the first episode, I watched the first 2, I think. And I didn't really think much of it, but then I watched the rest of it, and then I kept taking out DVDs from the library and just watching it over and over and over again. I absolutely love this show. It's a very special place in my heart because honestly, without Ouran, I'm not sure how into anime I would actually be, and I owe Ouran a lot. Because without Ouran, I wouldn't be on this channel, I wouldn't be friends with Dylan, I wouldn't be friends with Britt, I wouldn't be friends with Kay, I wouldn't be friends with Kio-chan, I wouldn't have gotten involved in my anime club at my college. I owe Ouran a lot, and I know that. I love this anime so much. And those were my top 5 anime. I will be doing a top 10 anime at some point in the future on my own channel. And anyway, Kay, we will see you on Monday. Bye!